Gregor, you've named your squad for the Guinness Six Nations, another championship upon us. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, it's been a long time since we worked with the players, and we can't wait to get them back in. It's a massive challenge as always, but one we're looking forward to.
A lot to chat through in terms of the squad. A number of uncapped players, two in the backs, Arron and Harry Paterson. What stood out about them?
Well, but both of them are in really good form. Arron has been playing regularly now for a number of seasons, but had a lot of minutes this year for Sale. Met him on a couple of occasions to talk about where he fits around our depth chart, and this season he's gone right up the depth chart, and he's someone that brings real effort, speed. He's got an exciting attacking ability, but also he's aggressive and offensive in defence. And Harry, we've been so impressed with him when he's had opportunities at Edinburgh. Two big away performances out in Ulster and Claremont where he stood up. He brings an edge to his game, but he's an excellent attacker, someone with a kicking game. Someone who can play anywhere in the back three as well, which obviously we're looking at with the injury to Ollie Smith right now.
And in the forwards, two props, Hurd and Alec Hepburn. For supporters who maybe haven't heard of them before, what can they expect?
Well, two players that have played in the Premiership this year, the English Premiership. Hurd was Scotland under-20s and was on Glasgow's books a couple of seasons ago, but it's really been the last few months at Leicester that he's gone about to establish the type of player he is. A strong scrummager, someone that hits hard in defence and works really hard in attack and defence. And Alec has always been an excellent player, really fits into the Exeter style of playing, which is similar to us in terms of moving the ball. He scrummed really well since he got back from injury and illness a few weeks ago, and we're delighted that he was available for us to select.
No captain named at this stage. What's your thinking there?
Yeah, we're going to leave it another week. Jamie obviously was our captain last season and is just carrying a little injury right now, but he should be back this weekend. He's got a challenge to play well up against the back rows that are in the squad, who are all playing well. So we're going to assess things after the weekend. We know Jamie could feature as captain for us against Wales, but there's other players in the mix too.
In the back row, there's a lot of competition there. It's always been one where there's a lot of strength and depth. How's that affected your selection this time?
Yeah, it's definitely made it more difficult to debate the strengths of players that have played really well for us in the past, players that are playing really well right now for their clubs, and players coming back from injury just over the last 2 weeks, and Matt Fagerson and Jack Dempsey this weekend. So we look to get that an aim and a blend of having flankers, players that can play 6 and 7, but also players that have played number 8, and that has meant that someone like Hamish Watson has missed out on this occasion, but it also shows the strength that we have with the players right now that are playing at the top of their game.
And Josh Bayliss and Andy Christie, they come into the mix as well, two players that have impressed you?
Yeah, Andy missed out in the World Cup because of injury, but came back right at the beginning of the season for Saracens. I think he's played in every single game. I think he started in every one, bar one player of the month, I think, for Saracens a couple of months ago. So his consistency has been really good. Played across the back row, and he's really grown as a player, which has been great to see. And Josh has only been back the last 2 weeks, but looked sharp at the weekend. Was very good for us in the World Cup warm-up games and also in our training camp. So we're delighted that he's fit at the right time and has got back into our squad.
There must have been a lot of tough calls in the centre position in particular, and Rory Hutchison is someone who comes back.
Yeah, and Hutch has always been a player that has been close to the squad. He's been involved with us before. But really it's just over the last few weeks what he's had to compete hard to get back and play at a very good Northampton team, but he's shown his normal skill set in attack, but also a real edge in defence, and influence in the defensive side. So yeah, we're delighted that a player like him is in form and is going to push the other centres in the squad. Chris Harris has missed out, someone who's been an outstanding player for us over the last few years, someone who works so hard for his team. And we have other players that just missed out too. Matt Curry has been impressive for Edinburgh. He's someone else that brings a lot of work rate to his performances. But it shows that we have strength and depth in the centre, and if we do pick up injuries this year, then we've got some really capable players that can step up.
What's the first couple of weeks looking like for the squad? You obviously come into camp next week, and then we head off to Spain.
Yeah, we'll have a short camp. Monday to Wednesday. We'll have a few players playing that weekend in England and France. We will bring the home-based players in on the Friday because there's no game for Edinburgh and Glasgow that weekend. And then we'll cross our fingers that we get through the next 2 weekends with no injuries, so we can go to Spain on the Sunday before we play Wales and have a great training camp out there and go to Cardiff with confidence.
That must be a game that you're really looking forward to. In the past, we've opened the championship with England, but it's still a really exciting proposition starting it down there.
That's right. Yeah, I think we've played away from home the last 4 or 5 years. I remember going to Dublin and then Twickenham the last couple of years. So to get down to Cardiff, it's a special arena to play rugby. A lot of history, a lot of noise, and also we know we haven't won there for a number of years. So it's a challenge, I believe, that is right for our group after the way the World Cup ended, to show who we are and show what we've learned from that World Cup.